up the pieces that have broken me, and everything around this seems to be holding me.
So I say, what you gonna do about it? How you gonna handle it this time? Tell me that you think about it. So what you gonna do about it? How you gonna handle it this time? Tell me that you think about it.
Everything around this, everything around this. I'll catch the city bus with a man that's made a stream. Find time to rid the world of all your precious sin. There lies the library man, living in his paginated life. I'll find solitary in the pages in between. F-pause, broke machine, all these better.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to beautiful Gower Park in Kirikiriroa. We have the first of our quarter-finals in the 2019 New Zealand Mixed Ultimate Championships here in Hamilton. AUUC Flood, a university team, facing off against the Space Invaders, a team also from Auckland, a little bit of an intra-city clash. My name is Blem and I'm here with Daniel Clinton. We are here to provide you with your commentary and keep you in the loop as some of the best Ultimate in the country is on display. How you going, Daniel?
I am excited, much like Big Kev from Australia. I am looking forward to this. This is possibly one of the pick of the quarters. If there's any team that promises a big upset, it's AUUC Flood. They had a huge upset against Canale that had long-reaching repercussions. We'll come to that in a moment. And Space Invaders, well, they're just good at Frisbee. So, this game promises, and I am sure it will deliver.
Both teams setting lines now. Looks like AUUC Flood are starting with the pull. They're going to come down on defense. This will be a critical point. The first point of the game is essential for setting the tone. This could be an opportunity for either Space Invaders to take the momentum and run with it as they are known to do, or for Flood to throw down a wrench in the Space Invaders machine. Hands going up, the disc is coming in. Ball goes high, a lot of float. Nice chance for Flood to run down. Space Invaders getting discs away. Smith with the disc. To Ali, the hut goes up.
Wayendorp underneath it. Altaf Ali.
The classic 2-3 pass offense that has defined Space Invaders' short but dazzling career in New Zealand Ultimate. It really is hard to beat Ultimate when it looks that pretty.
Wayendorp will be one of the key receivers here for the Space Invaders. She had a great day yesterday. Has had a good morning today, and well, she's off to a flyer now on the showcase field. Oh, beautiful throw by Altaf Ali.
And just gets underneath it, both hands securing that first point for her team. What a beautiful start to this game.
Shout out to Raz Ali, Altaf's father. Altaf also designed the Space Invaders kit, and it looks really good. You get the idea there. It's got the old Atari video game characters on it.
Pull goes up. Space Invaders to come down with a crushing defense, hoping to stop Flood's first offensive point of the game, but the pull goes wide. It will be bricked.
Well, Nicholas Whitlock is going to have an opportunity from the brick mark. The wind is still fairly non-existent. It's not even quite a thrower's breeze. It's coming from the bottom of your screen, going to the top, directly, almost directly across the field of play.
Discs in. Looking to initiate something with a long huck.
Oh, oh no, it's just short.
Flood looking to answer with a long shot of their own. Unfortunately, that receiver just wasn't quite fast enough. Another gear might have got her there, but this one goes back to the Space Invaders with a chance for the first break of the game.
Whitlock overthrowing that. He flicked his wrist and the disc just took off.
Long shot goes up. Coming from Miller. Ali. Big fake looking for the reset. Just beyond the hands. Goes back to Whitlock. And Whitlock just passing the disc, dribbling it up the field himself.
Well, it's a perfect throw. He didn't have a lot of room to fit that into, and it works out. So AUUC Flood, the University of Auckland, they score that point. Nicholas Whitlock with a great throw.
Just capitalizing on Space Invaders' turn there to really consolidate that first point. We'll call that a hold. And again, with the game being 1-1, the Flood starting on defense just as they did for the first point of the game. They know what to expect now. They know the Space Invaders have those long throws, that high level of athleticism that's going to put discs in the end zone and into the hands of their receivers. They know what kind of pressure they're going to need to bring to stop that kind of action.
Love to give a shout out to Melville United FC, our hosts for the weekend. Pride of the Waikato, this is their home field, and what a beautiful field it is. This is probably one of the best fields I've ever seen Ultimate played upon. So Flood to play defense now.
It just goes up. Nice lot of float on it. Plenty of time for the Flood defense to get in the chase. Put that pressure on. Looks to be match defense. Gentle fake by Ali. Gets the defender to overbid. Coral Huang with the disc. A confident handle for the Space Invaders to Hooverlin. Resetting to Ali. To Armstrong. Alex Mercer to Coral Huang.
Oh,
Just beyond the fingertips of the defender. Space Invaders look to take.
Bruce Hang on the reception. He gets himself a goal. Huang, it wasn't going to be long until she was on the scoreboard. Had a great game on the stream yesterday, and she's off to a great start again today, 2-1. It's been all offense.
These teams with the confident trading that comes from really sharp offensive drilling. Who will be the first team to score a break, or will these teams just trade and trade and trade until one of them falls over?
Well, there will be a break at some stage. It's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, but when. Flood are going to play offense. Whitlock back out there.
No. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. On the same team.
Billy Armstrong to pull for the Space Invaders, holding the disc on the left-hand side.
Space Invaders with a hard chase, nice floaty disc.
That's a much better pull.
Textbook, beautiful pull. Back to Whitlock. Just comfortably using his long limbs to stretch the mark on him, creating a lot of opportunities for him to keep working that disc up the field.
Whitlock burning long. The throw doesn't come.
Stephanie Shen looking to take that one.
Oh, great grab by
Layout
Howell.
grab to save and keep it alive.
Howell having to shoulder a little bit of the burden here. Whitlock is struggling to get involved. And there's a pick call. So the disc will come in, stall 2, Whitlock to maintain possession. Ben Chong in motion before the disc was tapped in, and he knew it. He gave himself up. They'll come back. Benjamin Chong lists his assets as being able to play well without food, water, a warm-up and sleep. Oh, huge bid from 2.
Long shot.
Ling to Howe. Whitlock looking. Howe. He's trying to find a reset. He goes with the throw and go. Zhao looks off. And a miss. It's a miss to the end zone. Flood coughed it up. It's a turnover. The Space Invaders will get it. Great opportunity to break here. It'll be Armstrong to pick it up. Bianca Mercer sets up as the reset. Oh,
Big huck.
It's a very, very high stall.
But it's brought down.
That's another Mercer catching that Frisbee.
Hooverlin open but looked off. Back to Huang. Coral looking for the low shot. Just kept alive by Hooverlin. Bender with the disc on the near sideline. Looking for an easy shot to Armstrong. Right on the corner. It goes up.
For the first break. It is.
Bender to reel that in for the Space Invaders.
Billy Armstrong leading the way for the Space Invaders. Great assist. Bender with a hell of a cut there to the corner.
As you said, Daniel, not if, but when the first break that came.
Well, it was sooner rather than later. 3-1 the score. Flood. Not the start they wanted. We covered them yesterday. They had that real streaky game against Canale where they ended up taking the match 15-12 in the end. This start, a little bit shaky. They've had a great tournament this far. They snuck into the quarterfinals like a thief in the night. Out of that pool, the 6 teams in that pool, it ended up being a 3-way tie for the last 2 spots into the quarterfinals. And here's what happened. Canale, Flood, Credo, all tied, same points. So it comes down to goal difference. Credo beat Flood on Universe, 15-14. However, Flood having beaten Canale and Canale having beaten Credo, after it had all washed out and come out, it turns out Flood goes through on a 1-goal difference to Credo. Credo go home.
Well, Flood will be desperate to make sure that opportunity is not wasted for them, and you can see them coming out with a really strong...
Amanda West! She's gone, Amanda West!
West to receive, and it comes off the fingertips. Beautiful put by Whitlock.
That is what we've come to expect with Whitlock.
That is an uncharacteristic drop by West. Generally quite secure hands, very powerful runner, wonderful open receiver. Whitlock would have been a fool to miss a target like that. Unfortunately, seeing it come off the fingertips, a little bit disappointing for that Flood side.
This will be where the game is decided, I think, Blair. The ability for a team to execute, the pressure's on, and this is high level now.
And Flood have given up.
You aren't going to get many opportunities. And if you give too many opportunities to the other team, you're going to make things very hard for yourselves.
As Flood have just done, they've given the disc back to the Space Invaders. One of the dominating, but
Whitlock!
the layout block!
What a poach block by Nicholas Whitlock off the front of the stack. He's going to call an injury. He's holding his throwing wrist. Was it worth it? We go back to the block. There's a huge play from an extremely large man.
Crosby to replace.
I hope he's okay. He is holding his right wrist. That is not a good sign.
A star like Whitlock could probably do all right with a lefty backhand for the second half of the game. Maybe not when the pressure's on in a game against the Space Invaders, one of the dominating forces of this tournament.
Crosby with the disc on the sideline. A good decision to go to Bakarati. And that's Rory Moore. Again, good decision. Bakarati on the far side. Goes with the around West. Doesn't make the same mistake twice. She spikes it and she loves it. That is the score they needed. Flood now steady the ship at 2-3.
Absolutely phenomenal shot at redemption. You can just imagine the thoughts racing through her head as she's going. Fingertips must close around the disc. It's all about, at that point, it's not about your own performance, it's about the team's performance. And West clearly didn't let the pressure of that get to her on that execution and managed to reel that one in for Flood.
You see Whitlock leaving the field at the moment. He's got an ice pack on his wrist. He's flexing it. He seems to still have movement in that throwing hand. Go back to the Amanda West drop. She'll want that one back. She's lucky to get that second opportunity. And now we come to the post block. Whitlock off the edge of the lane. That's a huge play. Absolutely huge. Oh. And then the AUUC Flood offense goes to work, creating some width, and then Amanda West getting that second opportunity. So we're back. There's the pull. That is
beautiful, right to the end of the zone.
That is a massive pull. That is the best pull we've seen yet.
Quick work by the Space Invaders to move that disc, looking for Alex Mercer. Puck doesn't go up, just resets. Big fake. Armstrong sending it, looking for Hooverlin in the zone.
Steve Turner, he's going to make the play. He gets the block coming from deep underneath the disc. Oh, Turner! He's going to send it back the other way. Ang v.
Crosby wants it.
Oh, and he
layout to
Tang is going to call a foul. He's then going to call him out. I don't think that he's right in either case. I think he's just been lit up on the live stream.
Sometimes when you get spiced by that, it feels like it leaves a bit of salt behind.
There's a large amount of salt there. More salt there than in the Dead Sea. That's not a foul, son. That's good running. That is not a foul. It's interesting. So it's hard to see from here as to whether it's in or out. So maybe the replay, it's hard to see from here. The angle we have on it isn't great. We're still discussing the call. Captain Whitlock is actually at the replay screen at the moment, trying to get a closer look at this. It's a huge play. So this replay is not going to be conclusive, I don't think. There's no way of knowing for sure. I think probably the best play is just to send it back to Steve Turner. It's like it never happened.
And it's not as though Steve Turner can't put another one of those up.
Yeah, exactly.
Crosby had the separation.
Yeah.
He had the read.
Yeah.
That's the kind of athleticism and insight that you do not want to miss an opportunity to exploit. The disc will go back. Flood with a chance to consolidate this. Just a moment to catch their breath. Space Invaders are going to be expecting the long shot again.
So the players just making up their ground, going back to where they were when the throw was made. And you can see where Crosby and Eng were. Oh, that is nearly dropped.
Looking for the reset. Not enough pressure from the Space Invaders in defense, and the huck goes up.
Crosby gets another crack at it.
Crosby with the second shot.
He's dropped it. It's out. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. He's had too much time under the disc and he's thought about it for too long.
And that is a crucial turn. Space Invaders will be looking to capitalize. They want to open up that margin, go from 3-2 to 4-2. They've seen what happens when the flood goes long. They will want to answer with one of their own. They have the throwing strength. They have the foot speed. Patience with the disc, just looking to keep it moving.
You're going backwards though.
Lee Nado, the Ninja Turtle, going for it. Unstoppable. But the throw doesn't come.
Hender's just playing really conservative.
Looking for Bender again, the scorer of one of the more recent Space Invaders points. Armstrong sends it.
Yeah.
Leonardo, the Ninja Turtle, wants
Crosby
it.
comes. Crosby doesn't do enough. The catch is there. It's incredible. What a defensive attempt. Leo, though, he does enough. With great concentration making that catch. The Space Invaders up 4-2. We knew there was going to be fireworks, and there it has delivered.
That absolute focus from Leo, just completely only worried about the disc. Even when that bid goes up and his hands brush just underneath, he still has the presence of mind to keep it in his eyes and bring it into his hands for the score. A crucial point for the Space Invaders.
I love the hustle from Crosby. That is
Cross-field bid.
He's come from a long way back. That wasn't his player, but he still tried to make the play on defense. He has been a fingernail short.
Three long passes in a row.
Well, this is going to be interesting and possibly one of the stories of the game. Nicholas Whitlock retakes the field. He's not flexing his hand anymore. He seems like he's okay. Maybe just more of a jar than anything too serious in that right throwing wrist.
This point will be the one that tells the tale. The throw goes up, the pull up from the Space Invaders. Whitlock to receive. Easy backhand.
We'll be on that flick to see if he's got, oh, and the run through block. Yeah, there is going to be a foul call. Priscilla Yu making the call. Also known as Priskrillex. That's a great nickname. That's an excellent nickname. The conversation will be around, you know, who had position here and what happened. It looks like it will be an uncontested foul. Okay. I can see it just came through her a little bit and affected her ability to make a catch there. Whitlock.
Flood to keep the disc. The hook goes up.
No, his wrist is fine. Maybe
He needs to get his eyes checked.
Maybe the eyes need to be checked, not the wrist.
Good to know that forehand hook is still going to be threatening the Space Invaders defense. Just looks like the Flood offense need to make sure they've got somebody underneath those discs when they come down.
Rory Moore, that the miscommunication was there. It was the game we covered yesterday. The Moore Whitlock connection was solid gold, with Moore just going and Whitlock just throwing it, irrespective of whether they were open or not. This time Moore electing not to go.
Ali with the disc now. Simpson on the reset. To Mercer. And Smith on the near sideline. Nicholas Whitlock, big wings, looking for the block. But a foul is called.
Yeah. Whitlock knew that one. It was a big contact on the throwing motion. I just checked the disc. Thought that maybe there was a hole in it. It's okay.
3, 2, 1. Let's go.
So Diskin on 0.
Yes.
Shen.
Stephanie Shen
No
just
call.
getting in front. A crucial defensive opportunity for the Flood. Wanting a turn. Nicholas Whitlock to handle. Oh! And Ali turns
That is a
into it.
Sharp block by Ali.
Just perfect vision.
Flood have to go on defense here.
Simpson with the disc. Looking for Mercer. Low release just beyond the fingertips of Smith. Whitlock's not going to pick it up. He's moving further upfield.
A great decision by Whitlock.
Looking
He
to
looked down the
capitalise on
field.
a...
He saw Benjamin Chong and saw the defender was well set up. Whitlock instead going to go with the power move and going to go to the back to the fat side. It's going to hang though. A pack forms
Steph Shen to bring it down.
with the best read out there. She outfoxed the pack.
The shortest player in that huddle, but perhaps the one with the best vision. Moore went up early and under double coverage. They also misread it. Shen took one step just to the side and managed to bring that one down. A crucial break for the AUC Flood.
So Rory Moore going up early and dragging the defender a little bit to come back to the Ali block, the poach block. Whitlock just not seeing him. That low release throwaway. And then the Whitlock huck that hangs in the air. The wind just getting underneath the edge of that. 1, 2, 3. Best read. So Flood now, their defense. It's 4-3 the game. Poised. They're in this well and truly.
Flood to come down on defense. Some of their faster runners, the more aggressive players on the line here. I see Amanda West, I see Anna Dolan on their lady set. Looking to really apply that pressure here on the defense and the Space Invaders.
Hayes gets down there. Bianca Mercer looking.
For Bender. To Armstrong.
Bender's been good. Armstrong's gonna stick it.
Big huck. The yo.
Oh, Dolan with the best read. Anna Dolan. She has read that like a veteran.
I did say they've got some of their stronger defensive ladies on the field, and what happens?
Yeah, Billy Armstrong reaching with the low release, trying to go over the top. Maybe doesn't get enough velocity on it. So now they have to go. And that is a throw into space. A long way back in the end zone. Hooverlin with a near Callahan. Looks like the turnover will stand.
Space Invaders with a critical opportunity here.
Hooverlin. Oh, and Turner with an ill-advised bid. It's getting fiery. It's heated. Steve Turner having to be pulled away by the coach. Billy Armstrong less than impressed with that late bid. Tensions are starting to rise.
Hooverlin will be pleased with herself though. A nice bookend, run through D, managing to capitalise on that score. That is a critical play for the Space Invaders.
But it was a near Callahan. Yeah, it's a late bid, and it's created a situation that needs to be avoided in ultimate. Well, Space Invaders go back to defense now, 5-3 the score. Flood, they're down that break. And it's okay, it's not the worst. They do need to make the play.
So they're going to come down on offense now. The Space Invaders defense doing a phenomenal job. Early breaks in the game. Just really putting that crisp, clinical throwing and strong athleticism we've come to expect from the Space Invaders into practice. Whitlock to pick up. And Easy gainer.
Oh, what a block! What a block! There's going to be a little bit of a discussion. I can't see any contact there on that play. It looks clean to me. Altaf Ali getting massively horizontal.
Is it a bird? Is
So,
it a plane?
yeah,
No.
It's going to be a retracted. Great spirit there. Excellent spirit. With what just happened in the end zone, turn of that late bid, to then have the presence of mind to retract a call, it's very easy for the temperature in a game to go up. Very hard to bring that back down. Once the bar's been set, it's difficult to go in the opposite direction, but that is what happened, and Space Invaders take another break here early, 6-3. They've taken an early and strong lead.
Just a beautiful layout block by Altaf Ali to really set the tone for the second half at this point. Tan bringing that one in for the Space Invaders. Just secure hands. A nice outside in forehand. Fading back in towards the center of the field. Right into the receiver's hands, which is a beautiful display of ultimate from Space Invaders.
Yeah. Tian Ho there with the retracted call. That was, really, really high level spirit there. It's not, the problem isn't that he made a call. I think making a call is fine. It's whether or not you can then accept that there is no call there to be made. Accept that, yeah, you can be wrong, and, he did the right thing. He made the call and said, was there a foul here? Was there something here? There wasn't. He retracted it. That's as good as it comes when we're talking about spirit.
When calls do get made on the field, I've always been told the most important thing to do is to be willing to have the conversation. Whether or not that leads in you changing someone's mind, or just recognizing in the sort of cooler seconds that there was no contact or there was no infraction, and then having the presence of mind to make that retraction. Really well done by AUC Flood.
I believe this is just a regular garden variety timeout. Just the teams having a moment to talk things over. Maybe get the heads back in the game. Get the tensions under control. Space Invaders will come out on defense. Flood their offense. Whitlock, he's been icing his wrist in between points. Probably to try and just get the pain level down. He's clapping his hands and he's throwing forehand hucks. So I think he's okay.
It'll be something to keep an eye on during the rest of the game, particularly as they will need that giant cannon to send those shots long. 3 points down is not an insurmountable margin for Flood to overcome. They've done it before. The question is whether or not Space Invaders will be able to hold on to that and really shut down that offensive precision that we've come to expect from AUC Flood, particular Nicholas Whitlock.
That ball is going to be a good one. It's going to hang. You see the defense will be set. And Whitlock is going to go. He creates so much space, and they stick it to him anyway. Ho to Whitlock. He's on the end zone line. You would back him to score from here, or to throw an assist at least. And there it is. Whitlock's showing he can do it both ways. He can throw it, he can catch it.
Can sing, can dance, can act a little. That Nicholas Whitlock, a real triple threat.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Flood, 6-4. Space Invaders, they're still up those 2 breaks though. They're in a good, strong position here. The challenge is before halftime, can Flood fight their way back into this? Can they close that gap just a little bit? They take the game back to, say, 7-6 or 8-6 by half, or even 8-7, and they're going to be happy with where they're at in this game.
And AUC Flood going to come down on defense, try and utilize that momentum, the energy, the dynamism from that really strong point they just played. They will be riding high. They will be carrying that into the defensive mindset And we're going to see if Space Invaders have the wherewithal to pick through it.
Western Dolan retake the field for the Flood defense. Bakarati with a very good pull, decent distance. It doesn't quite hang that long, so the offense does get 2 passes away before the defense gets set.
Wang on the far sideline. To Yo.
Oh, heavy contact. I believe that would be a pick. West nearly destroys one of her own players. That's Jessie Strod. She's nearly broke him in half.
The exact kind of player that you want to put on your defensive line. Someone with a bit of solidity. Even with the disc on the near sideline.
Bakarati, it's out into space for Billy Armstrong. The flip to Mercer to score. Space Invaders scored their 7th point of the match. They maintain their lead.
They are 1 point away from taking half. Flood to come back out on offense.
Throw, if it's flutter, I think Bakarati has a play on it. Because it's a little bit floaty, it actually works to Armstrong's advantage. And then he just flips it into the end zone for the score. Well, the pace has picked up. It is fast and furious. The conditions conducive to fast-flowing, free-moving offenses. The wind has died down. It's gone. There is no wind. And a huge pull by Billy Armstrong. It looks like it will go out of bounds. No, it sits in bounds. It's a great pull. Ho with the show and go.
Topping with the disc.
To Chong.
Looking for Stephanie Shen. Confident handler. Back to Whitlock.
That's a good throw to Whitlock's advantage.
Capitalizing on his height, his reach, his vision.
Chong with a great around break to Sunny Zhao. Howe sends Armstrong the wrong way. Chong with a hard cut that gets covered.
Hammer goes up.
That is
Who's there for it?
It's
Whitlock.
Howe has got the 9 under that. He's chipped. He's chipped Yo by the looks of it. He can't believe it. Yo is he's distraught. He's inconsolable. He had him covered. And then, well, let's just call it a real garbage throw has ended in a score.
Nicholas Whitlock, AUUC Floods garbage man, coming out and cleaning up the trash.
Yeah, Flood coach Ethan there, he thought about it for a moment. 7-5, the scoreline. He thought about bringing Whitlock across to the D-line for a point. He's elected not to. This is interesting. I like the confidence that Coach Ethan has in the Flood defense. He's not going to bring his star across yet. He's going to leave that trick in his bag for the moment.
Save that bullet for the second half. At the moment, it is still anyone's game. There's 2 points in it. Space Invaders with a chance to take the first half, but that defensive pressure from Flood shuts down the first pass. Weyendorp to take, but that pressure again. Young with the disc, getting shut down. There's nowhere to go. Disc goes up. Smith takes it. Low, flat across the field to Hammond.
That's a beautiful throw, creating some width.
And inside putting it up. Flick. Dolan's got a shot on it.
Whoa! And Weyendorp has just clattered into the back of the field. She's smiling. She looks okay. That is commitment, ladies and gentlemen.
Did somebody get the license plate for that truck? Excellent spirit from both teams.
It's hard to see from here. She's going to call an injury. Behind that tin piece of sheeting is actually a very large and solid pole. See here when she hits it. Oh, I hope she's okay. It looks like she's laughing and is just struggling to get her breath back. My word, she has hit that hard. There's a Wayndorp-shaped dent in that panel now.
And the Flood's 8th defender, the tin barrier, really coming into clutch on that defensive point.
Oh, what an opportunity for Flood now. See, this is where games are decided. This stage, right, they're up by so far, Space Invaders, you know. They've got the opportunity to take half, 8-5. That's really comfortable. That's a nice lead. But then they turn it over. And Flood have an opportunity all of a sudden to
Tighten
go
it back up.
Yeah, to 8-6, potentially. Can they do it? West making 100 metres of cutting to receive the disc 10 yards down the field. Bakrati with the reset. Oh, big bid by Mercer, unable to get there. You may as well. Hayes resets back to Bakrati. Crosby goes. But everyone is so deep down the field. Hayes is going to light it up.
Crosby's going for it. He pulls it down.
He's not in, though.
Not in. Dolan's there for an option.
He's going to call a timeout. That is a great call. Crosby calls a timeout.
And we've seen that before in some of our games earlier today. There were 2 occasions when HMC were taking down Mobility Scuba. The same thing happened. The disc was brought down just outside of the zone. Everybody else was upfield. There were no options. That timeout just allows everyone to catch up, to set an offense, and to really consolidate that opportunity.
Yeah, the team's going to have a chat about it. See just the inside scuba to Hayes. And then Hayes with a really nice inside-out backhand. Crosby making the grab, but just short of the end zone. That's a bit of a look. I like this. He looks, he sees what's there, he sees that there's nothing, and then he calls the timeout. So the trick here that we saw, Mobility Scooter, HMC, what really worked for HMC was their ability now to just move into a normal offensive set. Not necessarily have a play or the play, but just reset the disc, move the defense, find some angles, create an opportunity, and then score the point, rather than trying to force anything. But this university team from Auckland University, they're young. You know, they're all mid-20s, early 20s, some even teenagers.
There's a lot of hunger, a lot of grit on that line that comes from that youth. When you maybe don't have the experience to be super confident in backing yourself, and so you see a lot of hustle with a lot of these younger teams because they feel as though they've got to make up for something, but quite often, particularly against a team like Space Invaders, it is that grit, that determination that is going to make the difference. There's an opportunity to bring it back within 2 and stop the Space Invaders from taking half. Crosby is to have the disc just on his own end zone line.
So the defense just getting sorted. The offense is set already. Looks like they're going to try and bracket Anna Dolan, who is isolated in the lane. Do they complete it? Oh, there's a small violation. All right, so it's in. Dolan crashes in. Bakrati. Bakrati. It's West. 7-6. The game is officially interesting. I think Coach Ethan from AUC Flood, he needs to call his star Whitlock across now. I think here he's got the gift from Space Invaders. Call Whitlock across. Yeah, he's going to put him on the line. The opportunity to level it up at 7 and take this to Galaxy Point is this is the really big opportunity for Flood. Excellent game awareness. the game situation. To take this to 7-7 after being down is huge.
It's a really, really great opportunity for Flood now. They do need to pick their absolute best defensive players to come out here. Whitlock's been brought across. He does go both ways. He's going to send the pull up, big hard chase down, and do everything that they can to stop this Space Invaders offense.
So he's going to get joined by Jesse Strod. He's actually an exchange student from the US. He didn't have to change his flights, so he was very happy about that. Whitlock, the big outside in pull.
Threw a little spin in there for the fans at home. Yo with the disc. Looking for Coral. Takes it. Our MVP hoping those cuts don't get stopped.
Bit of confusion there. Turner playing on the lane. Armstrong.
Goes up. Bender second bid.
So close. She had to toe the line as well. She was drifting out of bounds, following that disc. Whitlock now is going to pick it up. They've got the opportunity. Sunny Zhao goes.
This is the one for Flood.
Big
Layout to keep it alive.
Jesse Strod, nice saving. I don't know how to call contact, my bad. And he was the one that got fouled. So Mercer's going to argue that Strod kind of created the contact by coming into him. So he's just going to retract his call here, Jesse Strod. Great spirit. After the conversation with Mercer, he feels that his call was not justified.
The disc is back in. The shot goes up.
To Whitlock. That big wingspan reaches out and plucks it from the sky. Anna Dolan is going to try and feed it to Whitlock. It doesn't work out.
Coral Huang with the disc. Looking to send it. Looked off. Armstrong. Nice shot looking for Hooverlin. Already got the bookends this game. What's she going to do this point? 2 360s on the pivot foot to get it back to Yo. Back to Huang. No long options making themselves available.
They're worn out a little bit. Billy Armstrong stopped running. He needs to put some work in here. This is for half time.
Bender poached under. Taking that disc. Yo wants it. Just towed in.
Very nice from Yo.
Hammer goes up across the field. Hooverlin to take.
It's a travel call. Saying he dragged his foot on the pivot.
Okay, let's select it up.
Yeah.
Please poach.
Space Invaders again.
Nice legs.
Yo to Armstrong. And a pick is called.
Backrowdy's just going to say to keep it there. It didn't affect his... he had no play on the disc, so Armstrong keeps it, but he gets to make up his ground.
Reset to Yo.
Flood just looking tired. They need to get closer here. They've played high intensity. They need to find that intensity.
Coral looking for an assist. It goes up. Lee Yo, our very own Space Invaders Ninja Turtle.
He lit up Steve Turner there. Turner just unable to follow the speed of Yo, and that is half-time. 8-6 the score as we go to the break. Oh, it is a great game. We expected fireworks.
And we are certainly seeing people get lit up by those fireworks. Those separation on those lovely points. What is the second half going to bring us?
We'll be back very, very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more quarterfinal action here from the next New Zealand Mixed Ultimate Championships.
shines too bright. Running on my own world tour. Country and country, more and more. Wrong turn here, right turn there. I can lead myself anywhere. Love you to the moon and back again. Best believe I mean what I said. Free to fall every now and then. Take a chance, every chance I can. Running and gone. A dream I'm chasing, sign. My journey's just begun. See where I can run. I want to run through the rain and no more songs about love or about pain. I keep my head up above the clouds, 'cause I got no time to be brought down. I feel brand new, and I love the view. I'm on my way to do what I'm meant to do. I want to run through the rain and no more songs about love or about pain. I keep my head up above the clouds, 'cause I got no time to be brought down.
Please me, I'm open. Please arise and hold her tight. Safe in my arms, I'm hoping love is what I'll make tonight. This is the way we do it. This is the way I'm moving. This is the way we do it, do it. I know what I want, I know what I need affection, yeah. Gotta work that out for me. I know what I want, I know what I need affection. Oh, I need affection. That's what I need. I need affection. You're taking everything from me, waiting for your fire, running deep inside of me. I know I'm knocking on the gates of hell. Oh, gotta find someone to redeem myself. Keep pushing down my wishing well. This is the way we do it. This is the way I'm moving. This is the way we do it, do it. I know what I want, I know what I need affection, yeah. Gotta work that out for me. I know what I want, I know what I need affection, yeah. I need affection. That's what I need. I need affection. Like a feline, when you feel I'm what you need, then you get close. Underneath rhymes, I'ma need mine too, like I need yours. So rejuvenating, musing, mating, grooving through the ropes on the coast, when maneuver making, choosing, raking through on a cruise to the innermost. See the host making toast with a hostess with the focus, a ferocious love to share. Get it on, an ocean of a potion, lotion, but it only needs some right there. Only love, right above, can find there's plenty room to glide, 'cause only love survives this love, so right now gently in tonight. I know what I want, I know what I need affection, yeah. Gotta work that out for me. I know
we are back for the second half of the clash between AUUC Flood and the Space Invaders. After Space Invaders took the first half, a half full of some dynamic points, impressive bids, and a couple of roofs being stalled on our field. Whitlock of Flood is to receive the first pull.
Moore is shown and going. He's going to have to go. He's going to get it.
And there it is.
He didn't cut, but Whitlock threw it anyway, but it looks to be a pick that will come back. You're kidding me.
He took his hat off and threw it to the ground to help him run that little bit faster.
I think that has affected the play. It looked like Hammond had stopped running. So if he's heard a pick call and stopped running, it has to come back. Whether or not he would have got to the defense is kind of irrelevant in this example. So, yeah, Rory Moore with the skills by the boys. Whitlock and just a little bit of fanciness between the two.
They'll both be happy that we called that. Whitlock again, coming out of a vertical stack. Chong, really high pressure on that defense, but he manages to get a shot away. Ling on the far sideline.
Looks like Whitlock has moved himself down the field. Oh, what a beard. That is a huge layout that nearly comes off. Whitlock to Chong. It's getting nasty out here. Chong with the around to Moore.
Lee Yo on the defense.
Flood. They're going to leave it all on the field. Whitlock to Chong. The break cut is there. Chong can't get it to her. Whitlock breaks to Moore.
Ling poached off in the end zone. Not an option. Looks for the reset. Whitlock reads it last minute. Manages to lay out and keep it alive. Looking for Chong. Back. Oh, Whitlock gets looked off. What's open? He finds Moore in the middle of the field.
We've got to find the women here. They are getting free. The men just can't find them. It's a speculator to Chong, who has found the end zone. Whitlock. He's going to walk off the field. A bit of a Brofest offense.
We saw it in the HMC's Mobility Scuba game. Ladies are the ones who you really need to apply the pressure to when the going gets tough. It was an opportunity here for the AUUC Flood, but they figured they'd let the gentlemen stick around and do the work for another point.
Well, that is a point. Several layouts. Look at that from Chong. Full extension. That is crazy. It's and then Whitlock to save as well. More. And there's the throw to score.
Absolutely beautiful ultimate. Exactly what you'd expect from well-captained, young, athletic, and strong throwing AUUC Flood. They need to come down on defense. Can they draw it back to 8-8, or is this the opportunity for the Space Invaders to make their first point of the second half?
Simpson to catch to go to Mercer, who's been quiet. He had a really, really good game on the live stream yesterday. Really hasn't been much. It's been this man here, Altaf Ali, who has showed up big time.
Mercer looking for Simpson. Near sideline, the lefty flick. Layout kept alive.
Smith. Oh.
Ali.
And Smith's going to go. Dolan's in the area. She reads it. She does enough. What a monster Dolan has been. Down the stretch, she makes the play.
And this is the one. Flood need this. They want this. They're hungry for it. They've put in the work to get the turn. All they have to do is get the disc 64 meters upfield and into the hands of one of their confident receivers. They've brought Amanda West on. She's already 2 points up in this game. She's streaking long. It's not an option.
Strong height advantage to the women of Flood. Both West and Zhao, tall ladies.
Crosby on the far sideline.
Crosby's going to have to settle underneath it. He gets absolutely roofed.
But a call is made.
Rather, that's Hayes. He settled underneath it, I think. Oh, look, I haven't made a correct call all day, so I'm not going to make a call now, I don't think. I think I'm going to put my calls back in the bag, and we're going to let the footage speak for itself. Yeah, you can make your own mind up at home about that one. Well, Whitlock has just actually passed the message on that it was a clean block. Excellent spirit by the captain, Whitlock.
Ali with the disc now, looking for. The huck goes up.
Oh, what a throw by Altaf Ali.
Mercer an extension to grab.
Show us the disc, young man. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a wave. Look at the camera. That is on the live stream.
You know he had to do it to them.
He is. Looks like he's a little bit worse for wear as well. Heavy impact with the ground. Hell of a catch.
Are we going to get to see that one again?
That comes from so deep. Wow. That was dope.
Space Invaders needed that to widen that margin for them, give them a little bit of buffer, maybe a second to take a breath, but they're coming back out on defense. They know Flood are hungry. They know Flood have the long cuts and the long throws. They're going to need to pull something else out of the bag if they want to put a pin in Flood's hopes at the finals.
Line 7 is still so close. There is nothing in this game.
The pull goes up. Whitlock, as usual, sticking back to take it. The blue cannon himself. Stephanie Shen with the disc on the far sideline. Looking to reset.
Oh, Whitlock goes. There's the high release to Chong.
Chong had it, and a pick is called. Disc will go back. All right, looks like the disc will stay where it is.
There's Lee Yo has pulled the Nicholas Whitlock matchup. I think that maybe they need to send Altaf Ali across to the D line and see if maybe Ali can get a little bit more onto Whitlock.
Again, as soon as the disc is checked in, Whitlock streaks long, creating that separation.
Oh, great move by Chong. It's clean. Mercer. Enough pressure. The throw wasn't great.
And this is the opportunity for the Space Invaders.
Hooverland.
Looking for Hooverland, finds her in the end zone. Layout attempt by Stephanie Shen, but it's a second too late. Hooverland takes the score and widens the margin for Space Invaders to go up 10-7 over the AUUC Flood.
Well, that is a break. The gap widens. We may be seeing the moment where this game is won. Hooverland is such a scoring threat. She has scored so many goals.
An absolute stunning record today, particularly in this game.
Talking to Coach Meg Lake of the Space Invaders. We got an update on Sheena Weyendorf. She's okay. It was more the injury to her pride and her ego more than an injury to her body. She was really embarrassed of having headbutted that paneling on the live stream.
But it seems like it's nothing. A Band-Aid won't be able to fix. Nicholas Whitlock to receive the pull one more time. Setting up in a vertical stack, no initiation cuts. But they find Crosby on the near sideline. The huck goes up, it's blading back towards the center. There's contact to interrupt that attempt at the disc. And an injury's called.
Going to be called from the ground. Looks like the sniper got a 2-for-1. Maybe he's looking forward to Black Friday.
We can see again, the throw goes up.
This throw was underthrown. Yep, the sniper's just picked up a 2-for-1 deal. Heavy contact, she'll make her way to the sideline. So she's okay, she's walking all right. Just take a moment to catch her breath and walk the knockoff. So the turn will stand and Space Invaders will go in.
Another opportunity the Flood can't really afford to give to the Space Invaders. They've shown consistency on these turns. Mercer to pick up the disc to Ali. Takes a second to get their hands on it. Finds Hammond. The huck doesn't come up, goes back to Ali, resets to the far sideline, looking for Smith. The huck goes. Hammond's got a shot.
Yes, yes, son. Yes, son. Get some. Get on the highlight reel. There is some more action, and the Space Invaders are pulling away.
Was it just my imagination, or did he stick his tongue out as he turned his head to find that disc? He was hungry for it, maybe even slowed down to give himself the opportunity to lay out for it.
No, he tied himself in a knot. He ended up getting caught up a little bit. The throw, when it came, was not what he was expecting. You see, he has to turn, and it's a little bit awkward, and then, yeah, nice catch, son.
Very secure hands. No ground strips for him.
Get a clip of that and send it to your Snapchat buddies. Is Snapchat still a thing with the young kids?
I wouldn't know. I'm 30 years old.
Okay, well, you know.
Story of my life. Space Invaders come back out on defense, having had a couple of critical breaks in this game.
Coach Meg Lake of the Space Invaders needs to be happy with where we're at in this game. She's got a smile on her face, but I don't think that that's anything unusual. Seems like a pretty happy person most of the time. Another great pull. It's been a hallmark of this Space Invaders D-line.
Chong to Strod. Strod sending it.
That's a great throw. There's another pick call.
Pick was called.
Great throw by Strod. No. Whitlock and Strod playing catch. Over 60 metres. No worries, boys. You're on your own there.
Seems like the rest of the stack and the defense are kind of just waiting for their turn to do something. But everyone's back in position. Turner at the front of a vertical stack for the Flood offense. Yo can see that Whitlock's looking to go long.
Oh, what a great break that was, but Zhao has dropped it.
That's nice grit from the Flood team to go immediately back onto defense. No time to lick your wounds.
Look who it is. It's Hooverland.
There it is. Space Invaders with a breakaway going to 12-7.
Well, it is quickly becoming one-way traffic. Flood need to find something. They cannot let any more breaks happen. And that's, Whitlock was all alone. Looks like it will be a timeout call by Flood. University of Auckland going to talk this one over.
Of course, Nicholas Whitlock, even though the pick was called and he probably heard it, still had the presence of mind to jump the disc in just in case. You play how you practice, and if you drill those jump ins when it doesn't matter, you're going to be able to hit them when it does. And they definitely do matter now. Down by 5 points during this timeout, the AUC Flood really have to dig deep and find something to keep them in this game.
We spoke earlier about the road to this quarterfinal for Flood. They were a part of that three-way tie. They also beat the Old Boys Sports Club, who I would imagine aren't particularly happy with how their tournament has turned out. Flood, that was their other victory, along with beating Canale. Moving to the Space Invaders, they come in with an impeccable record, 4-1, their only loss being to Hammertron, who are undefeated at this moment in time. So that's pretty good for the locals.
Absolutely, Hamilton will definitely be proud of that. But Space Invaders with a 4-1 so far, nothing to sneeze at themselves.
Yeah, to get here they beat HMC, Mixtape, Scuba, Mobility Scuba, and Squall.
Some very strong teams from the central and southern regions.
Yeah, and really the only game in which they've been honestly pushed was the Tron game that they eventually lost. Everything else is 14-10, 15-7, 15-10, 15-6. So big margins. And this one's looking like it may actually be another big margin. Space Invaders looking to display their pedigree through this string of results here as we head towards the championship rounds. This is obviously the first championship round, the first knockout round. You lose here, you're not out of the tournament. You will play more games, but your opportunity to win it all is gone.
And Flood out here, just needing to tighten up that execution. They know they've got the runs, the catches, the throws, but at the moment they are just making more mistakes on offense than the Space Invaders are. If they can tighten up that offense, it will keep them in the game. Their defense is strong. They're pressuring the Space Invaders offense. It's just that offensive security they need to fix in this second half. Pull goes up.
Another deep pull. Chong has to let it go. He got in a bad spot there. Elects not to try and catch it and probably drop it. Bakrati gets the reset. And the swing to Chong. Whitlock's having to work hard for this. Yo is having to do it all. But Whitlock is just a very large human.
The shot goes up, looking for Ling. Oh, what a beat by Ling! Layout, but just shy. And an injury's called.
She's done so well, and she's nearly got there. That is nothing but heart and willpower, a refusal to let it end in a turn. Oh, it's so agonizingly close.
And it looks like we've got Stephanie Shen out to replace. But Flood are still back on defense. The disc is checked in.
Armstrong's got 60 to go. Mercer sporting that heavily strapped left calf will be the reset.
But that tenacious Chong going to be marking the disc. He'll be hungry. He'll be looking for a bite of anything that instant it leaves Armstrong's fingertips.
Watch out for Whitlock off the front of the stack here.
Priscilla Yu nearly getting a bite of that reset.
That has looked like it is down. Yeah, the back edge of the disc was down, so even though Yo managed to get his hands on the front edge, counts as a turnover.
Flood are still in this game. Whitlock to pick up.
Who wants to score?
There are options in the zone.
A hard throw, too much pep.
Yo streaking long, but it's not coming. Slow to pick up the disc, slow to get that movement. Armstrong to Coral Huang, one of our tournament MVPs so far. Resets, looked off. Hooverlin an option, but doesn't go. And a pick is called.
Down the field. It's just players running everywhere. It's not exactly the cleanest of stacks I've ever seen.
Mercer to take on the near sideline.
Oh, Whitlock again.
Whitlock to Chong, looking for something right on the end zone.
Getting hassled. Oh, what a great look. And then the hammer to Bakrati.
It's a score.
Whitlock pats him on the back and says, nice try, buddy. You're going to have to do better than that.
Finishing off the point on back-to-back upside-down discs. First, the scuba reset over the head of the defender for Whitlock to reel in. Instant look, hammer to the far corner. A beautiful series of risky throws by the AUC Flood to keep them in this game and bring them within 4 of the Space Invaders.
Chong goes with the throw-initiated throw. Whitlock being face-marked by Mercer. And then a beautiful catch by Bakrati out the break side. Well, 12-8, they needed that. Couldn't have gone any further without it being a really, really bad sign for the Flood. But they're still in it. They are still in this match.
We have
Their
seen
go-to cheer. Let's talk about the go-to cheer, right? It says here your team is down 8-3 at halftime. What is your go-to chant to start the comeback train? Remember the Tron game. Here's the cheer. That game, they came back from 11-2 down to overcome the Tron and get a win. That was in the Taikiri.
the Tamaki throwdown.
Tamaki throwdown.
Up in Auckland. But Flood have experience with this. They have come back from wider margins of defeat to clinch victory. They could do it again, but a pick has been called.
Another pick on the stack there. Crosby just getting hung up. Go back to Mercer. Simpson's going to be the reset now for the Space Invaders offense.
Just gets checked in. A low release floaty. Hammond looking to get rid of the disc. Goes back to Simpson. Back to Hammond, but
what a
Crosby.
block. There's going to be a turnover. Yeah, it's going to stand. Crosby. Huge play. What a huge block by Crosby. And this is an opportunity. Strod struts to the disc in the red zone. Sonny Zhao goes west. The around.
Flicks up. Turner's looking for it. Gets
He's-
a fingertip.
He's misread it.
That defensive pressure from the Space Invaders causing him to screw up the timing just a little bit. And it's enough to give the disc back to our team in white, the Space Invaders, up by 4, looking to make it up by 5 with this next point.
A bit
Mercer.
of confusion now as to who's got who. Turner gets onto Altaf Ali, while Strod takes the Mercer matchup.
Hammond with the disc again.
Not much coming. The around.
Simpson's got it. Back to Mercer. Missed time on the clap catch with the layout, but it's not enough. Flood with another bite at this apple. High release, OI flick. Crosby takes it anyway. Sends it into the zone for Dolan.
Wow. Dolan is a monster in the end zone. Defensively, she was getting the job done. Now, offensively, she's doing it the other way. What a turn of events now for the Flood. They break.
A crucial break for the Flood to keep them in this game, bringing the margin to within 3.
And there is a timeout. I imagine it's Space Invaders. It's rare that you'll see a break. The team that scored the break call the timeout. More often than not, it's the offense. I'm actually a big fan of defenses calling timeouts, just to give themselves a little bit more of a break between the points, and to do something that's a little bit unexpected. I think the value of unexpectedness is worth its weight in gold sometimes.
There's a lot to be said for the element of surprise, but as you said, I think it is the Space Invaders who called this timeout. AUUC Flood with a power break like that are probably feeling really hyped. There's a lot of momentum on their side, and I imagine they'd be hoping to use that to go back-to-back on defense.
Well, 81 minutes. We're 9 minutes away from time cap. I think that Flood, they need to move Whitlock across, have him play both ways now. There's not enough time. They need to start the run now. They need to go to their strongest players. So it will be 4 men, 3 women under the prescribed gender rule.
Whitlock taking the sideline this time, having a lot of trust in the defense that's done the work so far. We can see Anna Dolan and Amanda West, 2 of those defensive powerhouses for the Flood, taking the field again. Looks like Crosby's out as well. Turner
Turner is looking tired though at the moment. He is really struggling. I think maybe the heat, the enthusiasm has gone out of his game. He needs to find something though, because this is what you've trained for. This is what you've played for. You need to win this game. You're top 8. Yes, top 8, but you can't be satisfied with that. You want top 4. And
top 4's just a road to top 2, and top 2's just a road to the top spot.
Well, there's only 6 points standing between Flood and that semi-final berth. But Space Invaders are only 3 points away. I would love to get there first.
Space Invaders' heads rolling around a little bit, starting to force themselves to keep loose.
So Bianca Mercer to bring the disc in for the Space Invaders. Hooverland goes out. Eng, Armstrong.
Shots up. There's pressure. Hooverland reels it in.
Naomi Hooverland.
3rd point of the game.
Is just unstoppable.
That is a crucial hold for the Space Invaders, taking them within 2 of taking the game and taking one of those top 4 spots. Flood with their work cut out for them. That really is the trouble when you're facing a team like the Space Invaders. They do have the option. They can work the disc for minutes and minutes and tire out your defense, or they can just take the cap off the syringe, put the needle down, and just have a 2-3 pass offense, a long shot to a secure receiver like Hooverland, and just finish the point straight away. Trust their defense to carry them the rest of the way.
Well, on the wide angle, you see that Hooverland actually starts her cut on the very first pass, and then it's on the 3rd pass that the deep throw actually goes up. So her cut was all effort and, nous before then. She knows where she needs to go, and Billy Armstrong eventually gets the Frisbee with the arms and the space to put a deep shot up.
The disc coming up from the Space Invaders. Big send. Whitlock again sticking back, trying to take it. Sean as his first option. There it is. Yo and Hammond on pressuring the disc on defense, but the huck goes up. It's an option.
Wow.
Shens wants
She's
it.
She's going to get there. She's going to get there. She's not going to get there. Oh, I thought it was good.
A great bid and the kind of hunger we expect to see from the AUUC Flood, but the disc had just a bit much salsa. A little bit too much spice. And Space Invaders now have an opportunity to bring it within 1 of the game.
How many times have we seen that? Whitlock with a good throw that has just missed. It has been common in this game. And it's not really a fault of anyone. It's just sometimes it doesn't work, and that's just sport. Armstrong. Bring it in.
Hammond on the near sideline. Big huck goes up. looking for Bender. Has she got the read? Not quite. Two Space Invaders receivers, both targeting that disc coming down. Neither of them within reach of it. Flood with an opportunity, Whitlock to pick up. Moore's going long and the shot goes up.
He hasn't got on top of it though, it's floated.
He's got a read. Fingertips.
It's a great contest there between the two. They'll have a quick discussion. No, it's a clean D. That's what I imagine would be the case. Rory Moore with a good no call.
Absolutely perfect timing on that cut. Great separation. The disc was just a little bit too floaty for them to take advantage of the athleticism that got him into that position. Space Invaders looking for a big shot. Doesn't come. Leo in his own end zone with the disc. He's calm. Looking for Kroon. Finds her. Back to Yo. Armstrong sends it. Wobbly, and it's blading back in. But it's taken down by Hammond. Sees Bender cutting into space. There it is.
Oh,
and it's off the
word.
fingertips.
Oh my word. Oh, the nerves.
Those shoulders are a bit too narrow to carry the weight of all that pressure.
Well, Billy Armstrong has bought a foul on that one. Mercer making a great grab over Chong. And the throw was good. It has to be caught though. Bender is going to rue that one.
Whitlock once again to pick up right on his own end zone. He sees Chong as the reset. Chong manages to keep that one alive. Finds more. Whitlock streaking long. The option is there.
Oh, big foul.
Big foul.
Looks like he's chopped his ankle on the way through. Yeah, uncontested foul.
That's the kind of fall you normally only see on a soccer pitch.
So Rory Moore. Brings it in.
The hut goes up. Whitlock's got the separation. He can do it if he reads. It's an option.
Give us Maury of
It's
that.
jumped in. 13-10, a 3-point game. Flood with a crucial.
Yeah, that's a crucial 0-point hold. It's been Whitlock to Moore pretty much all weekend. They flip the script, and Moore just sticks it. Ill-advised, but it works. He doesn't know if he just puts the disc in the end zone, and Whitlock does the rest.
There is a lot to be said for having confidence in your teammates. When you've got power players like Moore and Whitlock on the field who have those connections, who have that experience playing with each other, it's really nice to just put up a less than optimal shot or a less than optimal cut and trust that the other player is going to be able to provide that missing piece so you have that connection.
What a thrilling game this has been. What a great start to the knockout rounds here at the mixed New Zealand Ultimate Championships.
Flood to come out on a strong defense. Crosby sending the pull.
That's out of bounds.
Smith to pick up off a brick. We're going to see the Space Invaders come out in a horizontal stack. Ali, Mercer, Smith as the handler set.
It looks honestly like Steve Turner is done. He is not looking well out there. Somehow he's made his way onto the field and he's finding something. Ali, as we hear the time cap hooter in the background, Mercer to Huang. Nice low release to Smith. Ali with huge separation.
Capitalizing on the mismatch. You can see that Turner's done. He's really kicking up another gear. But a pick has been called.
Melody Young actually with the Frisbee. Working against Dolan, who's been a monster. So it comes in on 0. Young.
Ali again. Doesn't send it. Looking for the reset to Mercer. Back to Smith. Those three boys just weaving backwards and forwards until the opening. Hooverland with the opening.
Smith looking for the reset. Ali gets it.
Huck goes up, finding Mercer.
Bakarati with a massive play. He's going to call a foul. I don't think that's a foul, young man. I think you just got monstered. And you need to retract that before I get too wound up on the play. Mercer gesturing. Bakarati. Looks like Bakarati had position and just goes up. I can't see it from the footage. Yeah, it's going to be retracted. Yeah, great retracted call there by Mercer. It's a really good spirit, I think. Not so much that he makes the call, but he's willing to be wrong.
And with a game where the stakes are as high as they are for this one,
you can't begrudge him making the call.
Not at all. It's really excellent spirit, making the call, having a consideration, and then retracting when you recognise that the call didn't go. Turner sending the disc long. West looking to pick it up. Right through the hands.
Dolan and West have come together and nearly killed each other. And
Now
Flood.
Simpson and Smith. To Young. Mercer again with a long shot, but it doesn't go. Looking for Smith. Hooverland trying to find separations, not there. But Young free on the sideline. Dolan catches up.
She's catching every other at the moment. Dolan is just struggling to keep containment on her.
Mercer's there, sends the big one, looking for Ali.
And Ali is not going to get it. An awkward looking bid. There is a foul. Mercer will get this one uncontested. Bakarati.
Mercer out here throwing those knives.
Altaf Ali looks sore after that. He's hunched over. Yeah, he is actually going to call an injury, is Ali. So Billy Armstrong will come on and take the place of the injured Ali. So Flood subbing one player. Whitlock will come back off. Goes back to Mercer. Mercer has the Frisbee.
Mercer sends it, looking for Armstrong. Woo!
That's a score. Well, it becomes real simple from here. 1 point for the Space Invaders, 5 points for Flood. We are so close to having our first semi-finalist.
Armstrong jumping to take that point in, went up, held it for a few seconds in the air until someone turned the gravity back on. He grabbed the disc and brought it down to earth.
Steve Turner just unable to run really. He's cooked.
But space
There is nothing left in that tank.
He'll be glad for that point to end. Opportunity to take a breath, rehydrate. But it is critical for Flood now that they get a break, or their shot at the top four ends right here, right now.
And a big difference between the offenses of the two teams. Space Invaders see Melody Yong, Naomi Hooverland, and Carol Huang. All three of those are instrumental in what the Space Invaders are looking to do on offense. They're always involved. They're getting the disc. They're moving the disc. And it just allows that offense, that little bit of freedom. Flood, on the other hand, are a little bit tighter. The women are struggling to create those unders, and the men are struggling to throw to them. So their offense is just that little bit tighter. Can't find the separation that they need.
West with the disc, looking for Hazel Yu, finds her far sideline. The wind is starting to pick up now, means those throws need to become that much more precise. Stephanie Shan Low inside out to
There
Nicholas
goes.
Whitlock. The high release forehand, it's fading away.
Ill-advised there by Whitlock.
Moore with a great chase on a less than optimal disc.
I mean, Whitlock just needs to step around there and throw an outside end backhand. The wind is going to bring it back in bounds, and Moore is going to catch anything that's in the field of play. But Whitlock, he goes with a high release flick. Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. That's not the throw to make in this situation.
Space Invaders on their own defending end zone. A lot of pressure is going to do the job from Flood if we can see it, but they recenter the disc. And a pick is called.
14-10, Space Invaders now have possession and the opportunity to go into the semis. Armstrong with the reset. Working against the straight up.
Finds Coral Huang, a confident handler. The long shot doesn't go up. Finds Mercer. Lee Yeo, an absolute powerhouse, a deep threat. Finds Coral on the near sideline, who sends it to Bender. One hand grab, keeps it in bounds. Amanda West with the big wings, trying to shut down the reset, but it comes off anyway. Coral sends it low to the far sideline.
The Space Invader women are doing it.
Lee Yeo, disc again. Bender making an option, doesn't go. Coral takes it. She's looking upfield. She wants something big. It doesn't come, goes back to Lee Yeo. Armstrong, one of the bigger hucks on the Space Invaders team. Just a short pass to Bianca Mercer, who sends it, and it's a misread by the offense. Amanda West manages to put enough wobble in to slow that one down before Bender can course correct and get into position. And that is phenomenal defense by the AUUC Flood.
Yeah, they did enough. They held them out of the end zone for long enough. Bianca Mercer electing to try and thread the needle here, and Bender wasn't watching.
Moore is open. He takes the disc in the center of the field. Whitlock streaks long.
Oh, that is a flubbing. We need the Benny Hill theme. He has overcooked that.
If ever there was a moment for sad trombone, it is right now, but a timeout has been called.
Wah, wah, wah. Oh, that was horrible. It's completely slipped out of his hand as he's tried to throw that big forehand.
And it's important to note, ladies and gentlemen at home, that when you do apply sunscreen in countries like Australia and New Zealand, it's important to wipe your hands afterwards so you can maintain control of the disc in a situation like that.
Oh, that's so bad. Oh dear. Goes to show that even the best in the game, or you know, even someone as talented and as up and coming as Rory Moore can make what amounts to one of the most hilarious plays you will see this weekend. So a timeout, a break. Space Invaders. Armstrong had the Frisbee, looked it down the field. There really wasn't much happening, so decides to call a timeout. They'll have a quick break. This is to go to the semis. One possession. Didn't do it.
This might be what Space Invaders need. It's only 75 seconds of timeout. It's enough time for them to catch their breath, to catch a mouthful of water, cool everything down, just make sure everyone's on the same page, everybody knows what they've got to do. It's going to make the job that much harder for the AUC Floods defense, knowing this is the point that could win the game for the Space Invaders. And it's right on their defending end zone as well. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the AUC Flood. We will see if they are up to it.
Now here we go. This is for all the marbles. Maybe not all the marbles. Most of the marbles.
Certainly the top 4 marbles.
Top 4 marbles. And the offense are going to get set in some sort of spread offense. Correction, they're going to come in a vertical stack with Coral Huang isolated in the lane.
Hammond's disc, a confident thrower, excellent acceleration, excellent touch on these discs from the Space Invaders. But as you said, Coral Huang has isolated herself from a vertical stack that spans the length of the attacking end zone.
It'll be a Space Invaders female to score here. AUUC Flood men are very well matched against the Space Invaders men. It's really the Space Invader women who have had the advantage in this game.
Yeah, Flood are looking to bracket the players in the stack, putting Steph Shen trying to shut down Coral Huang. The swing's on. Mercer's looking for it. Can't find it, but finds Lee Yeo. No hammer to finish. Saw the fake. I nearly bet on it. Bianca Mercer to take the disc. A backhand for Simpson to close out the game for the Space Invaders. There is no beating Pretty Ultimate when executed by a team with the skill of our Space Invaders. And as much grind and grit and heart as Flood put into that, it was not enough to stop the tide at the end.
Yeah, so semi-finals time for the Space Invaders. The AUC Flood have fought valiantly, but they've come up short in this one. They are going to head to the 5 to 8 bracket. They're going to be happy with their result. They still have more games to play. Unfortunately, they will not go home with placing silverware. They may win Spirit, which is another prize in the ultimate competition. So 15-10 the score. Space Invaders, they win this one.
And what a fantastic game it was. We will be back with you shortly for the second of our streamed quarterfinal matches. And we'll see you there soon.
Alti.tv